Hello everyone, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I wanted to do something just a little bit different. I'm going to be reviewing the Apexel 100mm macro lens with a fill light for a smartphone. Now, before you click off this video, please hear me out. I know this isn't my typical carnivorous plant content, but this lens ties in really nicely with carnivorous plants. It's super affordable and fits on pretty much any smartphone. Plus, I'm going to be showing some really cool carnivorous plant content since I use my plants to review this lens. I truly believe that this lens can help people have a closer and more intimate relationship with their carnivorous or any other plants in their collection. So please, hang out with me for just a little bit while I show you how cool and powerful this little lens is. Whether you're here to see a review of this lens, or if you're here to see some cool up-close carnivorous plant content, I have something for everyone. If you want both, you're in for a treat. Now, I do have to admit, I can be kind of a camera snob sometimes. I do almost all my shooting for this channel on a fairly high-end DSLR camera. When I do the videos showing close-ups of my Venus flytraps eating insects, that's a DSLR with a lens capable of doing macro shots. When the folks at Apexel offered to send me one of these mobile phone lenses to try out, my inner camera snob jumped out and I turned the offer down at first. I mean, I would never shoot macro on my phone. I thought on it for a little while and realized that this channel is for the people who own carnivorous plants, not for me. It dawned on me that the vast majority of carnivorous plant owners own one of these, and not all of those. So I decided to go ahead and give it a whirl and see if it could impress me. Spoiler alert, it actually really did. The majority of this review is going to be comparing photos and videos with and without the Apexel lens on an iPhone 12. I've used this lens on both an Android S24 Plus, an iPhone 12, and an iPhone 15. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now and I wanted to share my results. On top of showing you how it looks with carnivorous plants, I've got some everyday objects to show you as well, like coins, a Pokemon card, and even some Pogs. Yes, I still have my Pogs. What's a Pog, you ask? Stay tuned to find out. Let's go ahead and unbox this lens really quick, and I'll show you what you get in this kit.
And real quick before we unbox, if you think this lens is super cool, which I really think that you will, Apexel was kind enough to offer my audience a 10% discount on this lens when you enter Bug Eater at checkout. That's BUGEATER. There's a link in the description that takes you over to their website so you can purchase this lens. It's less than $40 and even closer to $30 if you use my code BUGEATER. It's 100% worth it. Now let's go ahead and get back to this unboxing, review, and demonstration.
Right out of the box, you get this nice hard case to keep the lens and the light in. Open up the hard case and you'll find your 100mm macro lens and a clip that attaches it to your phone that has the fill light on it. The first thing I noticed was the weight of this lens. With camera equipment, you can usually tell quickly when something is light and flimsy. This little lens had some nice weight to it. It felt like real glass. It's a huge green flag for myself personally. The fill light is also pretty nice. It has 3 different color temperature settings from 2700 to 6500 K, which basically means it ranges from cold white LED light to a warmer light. It also has 3 different brightness settings. There are 40 different light beads. This little light is actually pretty powerful and works really well. My wife even used it to take a photo without the macro lens because it was too dark and it worked better than the flash on her phone. So it can totally be used even without the macro lens, which is kind of nice. The light casing also has a tripod attachment and a cold shoe, so you can attach it to a better fill light or a microphone. Also in the case, you're going to get the instruction manual and a microfiber cloth for cleaning the lens. They also include these little spacers in the event that your lens sticks up a little bit. You can use these to attach to the fill light and space it up so it's not scraping on the lens. I did not need these for my Galaxy S24, the iPhone 12, or the iPhone 15, so I don't think that this is a standard thing. The last thing that you get is a USB-C cable for charging the fill light. The only thing that you have to do to prepare this lens is charge that fill light with the USB-C cable. There's a little red light to indicate that the battery is charging. I charged mine for like an hour before using it and haven't had to charge it again yet. I probably use it for about an hour and a half of total time. The book says it'll last for about 2 hours on one charge. Okay, now let me go ahead and show you real quick how simple it is to put the Apexel macro lens on your phone. All right, let's go ahead and get the fill light set up on your phone. The first thing that you want to do is figure out which lens you need the macro lens to cover. Turn your camera on and get to the setting that you want to shoot at, either a photo or a video. Once it's there, you want to hover your finger over the lens. Once you see the lens it's shooting out of, you know which lens you need to line the macro lens up with. Also, before you attach the light in the lens, make sure to wipe down your camera lens with the included microfiber cloth. You don't want to get this all set up and realize that you have fingerprints on your lens. Okay, it's time to put the fill light on. You simply rest one side of the clip on your phone, pull it apart and slide the other side over, and it clips right to your phone. You want to align the hole in the fill light with the lens that your camera is shooting out of. Now that it's on, you can slide it up and down and move the slider back and forth to cover the lens you identified earlier perfectly. This functionality allows you to use this setup on almost any phone out there. It's incredibly versatile. Once it's lined up perfect, pop off the smaller lens cap first, leave the bigger one on while you attach the lens. It's threaded, so it'll take some turning for it to catch. Once it's on, you're ready to shoot. Just make sure to slide off the bigger lens cap once you're ready to take some photos or videos. For the majority of my testing, I used the iPhone 12. I shot everything in 4K at 60 frames per second. When zooming in this much, it helps to have the extra resolution, and the 60 frames help reduce the camera shake. I did test this on my Samsung Galaxy S24. Most of my testing on this phone was shot in 8K, but only at 30 frames per second, as it doesn't support 60 at that high of resolution. I used a higher resolution to zoom in even more for further testing. I'm going to speak in smartphone camera talk here. When I refer to 1, that means 1 zoom on your iPhone or Android, basically the default zoom. When I say 3 or 5, that means that's where I'm zoomed into. Just to clarify, since it's the basis for how my testing was done. I've watched several reviews on this lens, and most of the people do a bad job of showing how powerful it is. I think most people unboxed it and used it right away, then posted their video. I used this for over 2 weeks to get a good feel. I had to reshoot much of my footage because I kept realizing that I could do different things with it. Let's start taking a look at some of my best footage. I'm going to start with some test photos, then move on to the test videos. I think the videos are much more interesting, so make sure and stick around.
Okay, we're going to start with some Cape Sundew seedlings. You can see the size of the penny right there. These are really, really tiny. And this is a one-time zoom with the iPhone 12 without the macro lens. Okay, now you can see the macro lens has been added. This is also one-time zoom, so the exact same zoom as the previous photo, but this is with the macro lens. You can see how much closer it is. It does have a little bit of glare to the left there. That's something to note. You can actually get this for a couple dollars more with a polarized filter that will eliminate some of that glare. These are the same seedlings zoomed into a 3 with no macro lens, so this is just the phone. You can see there's been a major degradation in quality, although it gets you pretty close. The quality is really lost on this photo. I should also note that I haven't edited or retouched any of these photos. These are straight from the camera. Okay, here we are zoomed into a 3 with the Apexel macro lens. And you can see now that we're getting really, really close, and we're still kind of maintaining some of that nice photo quality. You can see the penny to the right there. It's huge now, so we're getting much closer. And I'm willing to bet that you didn't notice that little gnat there in the center of the screen in the previous 3 photos that we were looking at. We can now start to see things that weren't really noticeable in the previous photos, and we get a really good shot of those little tiny seedlings. So much better job with this macro lens of getting up and close. You can definitely see the high quality compared to the previous photo, which we lost a lot of quality on. So this is a much nicer image. We're getting much closer, and it's doing a much better job. This is my Triton Venus Flytrap shot on a 1 with the iPhone 12 with no macro lens. Okay, this one was also shot at a 1 with the iPhone 12. This is with the Apexel lens. You can see how much closer it is. Much better shot. Here we are zoomed into a 3 iPhone 12, no macro lens. All right, this is the exact same Flytrap, the Triton. We're zoomed into a 3 now with the Apexel macro lens. And you can see just how much more we're picking up here. We're getting really, really close. So much closer than the phone could do by itself. You can see it picked up a little kind of worm over there, which is kind of interesting. But you can see how nice and sharp it is and how close we got. Really, really cool photo. This is the same plant right after it rained. This is a 5 zoom with my Samsung Galaxy S24. You can see it's a really, really cool shot. We got really close. We maintain a lot of quality still, but we were able to get super close and see a little bit of that water droplets on there. Just a kind of a cool, fun photo. Okay, last test photo. This is a fly stuck on a sundew. This is a 1 zoom on an iPhone 12 with no macro lens. Okay, exact same shot of the fly, but here we are with a 1 zoom iPhone 12 with the Apexel macro lens. Here's a 3 zoom iPhone 12, no macro lens. Here we are 3 zoom with the Apexel macro lens on the iPhone 12. You can see how close we got to the fly. This is actually a really, really cool shot. Pretty impressed that this lens was able to get us this up close and personal with this fly. Very, very cool. And of course I had to give us the ×5 zoom here with my Samsung Galaxy S24. You can see we've gotten even closer. There's a little bit of loss in quality, but you can see how close we were able to get with the ×5 zoom. Okay, let's go ahead and move to some video. I'm going to come back to the seedlings real quick because I think it's a great example of how close that we can get to these. Here is the iPhone 12. This is as close as that I could get while keeping focus. It's also worth noting that it wouldn't let me turn the flash on for some reason, so I had to use the light that I had. But this is as close as we can get without losing any kind of focus. This is a one zoom with the macro lens. You can see we have the fill light on now. It's doing a great job of illuminating the shot for us. And you can see just how much closer we are. It's doing a really, really good job of picking up these seedlings at just a one zoom. Nice shot. Okay, here's the iPhone 12, no macro lens, zoomed in at 3. You can see it's gotten us a lot closer, but we've really, really lost a lot of quality. This is actually really kind of a terrible video. Okay, this is a 3 zoom on the iPhone 12 with the macro lens. You can see how close we've gotten now. We can see these seedlings really, really well. We're picking up grains of glass. You can see our little gnat friend there that's lying there. You can pick up so much more now. It's such a better video, and it's pretty crisp too. There's the penny. Very cool. Okay, here's our fly friend again. Here you can see we are zoomed at a 1 right now without the macro lens with the iPhone 12. So you can see this is a beautiful shot because sundews are amazing, but we're not able to get very close without losing focus. This is about as close as we can get. Now what I'm going to do here is, instead of doing a new video, I'm going to zoom into a 3 here. So now we're on a 3. Okay, so here's a 3. It got us a lot closer, but you can just see the severe drop in video quality. So much closer, but really, really losing that quality that we like to try to keep.
Okay, here we are zoomed in at a 1 with the Apexel macro lens on the iPhone 12. And you can see just a major difference in not just how close we are, but the quality is so much better. This is a really, really great shot. You're really getting a nice close-up view of these incredible sundews. Sundews are one of my favorite carnivorous plants, and this Apexel lens has given us a nice little glimpse. Can't wait to show you what the ×3 looks like, which we're going to do here next. Let's go ahead and check out the ×3.
Okay, next we have the iPhone 12 at a 3 zoom with the Apexel macro lens. Now we're getting a really, really good glimpse at the sundews here. I really, really enjoyed this shot. This is one of the favorite shots that I got. Just kind of getting these really, really close-up shots of these sundews. Sundews are such a unique and kind of crazy plant. Being able to see them up close like this is really, really incredible. There was lots of shots that I really liked with the Apexel lens, but this one really stood out to me. And I was really impressed with the quality of the shot, as well as how close we were able to get. I figured once we got this close we would lose a lot of quality, but it held up really, really well. I was really impressed. Great shot. Okay, instead of jumping back and forth now like I was before, I think I'm just going to kind of show you some footage that I've done here with some various things. Here's some coins. I've got a quarter and a dime with some crushed glass in front of it, just to give you kind of an idea of size. You can see that the crushed glass there is about the size of sand, so this is kind of a cool shot. This is at a 1. We're going to bump it up to a 3 so we can really see it. Here we go. See how well we can see the details of the dime. And when I move on over to the quarter here, this is really interesting. I had no idea there was a JF inscribed into the bottom of that quarter. No idea. I would have never known that, not until I got this close. But you can see there's some of the glass. There's that JF, a good look at it. You can go around this whole quarter and get some really, really nice details. of the quarter. That's at a 3 zoom right now on the iPhone 12. Okay, here we are. I promised you some pogs, so here we go. Here we are zoomed at a 1 on the iPhone 12 with the macro lens. You can see you can get a really nice shot of these even just at a 1. Let's go ahead and zoom this into a 3 so I can show you. You can almost pick up the texture on these and show you how bad a quality one of these pogs are. But this is a cool pure poison here. You can really see the textures picking up. This one's a little bit hard to focus because of the color of it, but it finally picked it up there. You can see how scratched up it is, and these are really old. These were like the pride of my 5th grade collection. And this one here, you can see just how low quality this one was. It was kind of really pixelated and not something to really notice when you're just looking at it, but interesting to see. And you get to see it up close like that. All right, now let's go ahead and zoom back out to a 1 here. I'm going to show you the Pokemon card. This is one of my son's favorite cards. I do have it in a case here, but if you wanted to like inspect a card, its corners, and to see kind of what shape it's in, or if you wanted to read these tiny numbers to look anything up, you can get really, really close. Let's go ahead and let's bring this in ×3. You can start to really see the texture of the card, which I thought was really cool. And you can really start to see like you can see there's a little bit of a tear there. You can see anything that's wrong with the card. I imagine this is probably similar to what they do when they inspect these to grade them. But I just thought it was interesting getting this close to a Pokemon card. Charizard. I don't know a lot about it. I've never been a big collector, but my son collects Pokemon cards, so. These lenses go for under $40 and are super easy to learn how to use. Anyone can do it. You don't even need to install an app. You just charge it, attach it, and start shooting. The low cost and simplicity make this a no-brainer if you're interested in getting a closer look into the tiny world of plants or anything else. I give this a super strong recommendation. Remember, there's a link in the description. Make sure to use Bug Eater at checkout for 10% off. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope to catch you in my next video. Bye.